Hello guys, my name is Josh and today I'm gonna show you how to root Kontakt 5 in Reaper. And this actually is the second video in this series. I made another one which is the fast way to do it, the more user-friendly and less configuration way to do it. However, in this one, we're gonna do everything manually, and the sole purpose for that is to actually understand what's going on behind the routing that Reaper does for us. And yeah, it's good to know what. First of all, it's good to know your DAW. Okay, you have to know what it does because not it's not gonna do everything automatically. In this case, it does, but still, you're gonna need to know how to send sound from MIDI to some instrument because you're most probably gonna need that. Anyway, that's what we're gonna do today. And actually, the way we're gonna work today is the same as we did on the Superior video. If you've seen that, if you hadn't, it doesn't matter because we're gonna do everything again. Plus some extra steps that we didn't need for Superior because for Superior we needed only one MIDI track, but for Kontakt we were gonna use multiple. So first thing to do is open Reaper and create a new project. So I can do that. This is a shortcut to Windows, but just open Reaper and click on File and New Project, and it does the same thing. And so the first thing we have to do is to configure Kontakt, and maybe it's gonna have like a different configuration for you. Maybe you change some things, maybe I don't know. So we're gonna configure it now so that we know we're working on the same thing and move on from there. Okay, so let's add the track. Double click over here, or you can press Ctrl T on Windows, same thing. Click on the effects window and set for Kontakt. Okay, so as you can see, I have 3 available options over here. You are gonna have 3 as well, most probably. You may have more, I don't know. Anyway, what's the difference between them? So as you can see, what changes is the number over here: 8 out, 16 out, 64 out. What is this output? This means that each version has 8. This one has 8 mono outputs. This one has 16 mono outputs, and this one has 64 mono outputs. But do we care? Are we gonna use mono outputs? Hell no, we're not gonna use mono outputs. Our instruments are not gonna be mono. Our libraries, our pianos, whatever. Maybe you want, but they're not. So in order to actually find out how many different and focus to that different available stereo audio tracks we're gonna have, is we're gonna divide this number over here by 2 because each stereo track uses, or track channel is pretty much the same here as a terminology. Each stereo track consists of 2 mono tracks, left, right, obviously. So this one is gonna provide us 4 different stereo outs. This one is gonna provide 8 different stereo outs, and this one is gonna provide 32. Or to be more specific, this one's gonna provide up to 4. You may use 2 of them. That's fine, but you can't have, let's say, 5 or 6 or 7. This one is gonna provide up to 8. So this includes this one. So why not use this one? I mean, you can have 4 of them. You don't need to use all of them. But yeah, it's gonna provide up to 8, and this one is gonna provide up to 32. And I think 32 is a bit excessive for our at least a common project. So we're gonna work with. I'm gonna demonstrate the 8 stereo tracks option over here, which is this one, the 16 out, and it's the same one I did on the other video. So okay, let's go. Click OK. So this is the output window. If it shows up, it's okay. If it doesn't show up, go over here where it says output and click on that, and it's gonna pop up. And let's hide the keyboard. And can you see that? Yeah, you can. let's move it a bit over here. Okay, it doesn't matter whatever is in here because we're gonna override it. So let's click on add channels. And as we said before, what we're gonna use is 8 stereo channels. So, and each stereo channels is consisted of 2 mono channels, right? Right. So the quantity is 8, and the number of channels for each, it's gonna be 2. So in total, it's not gonna be 16 channels over here. It's gonna create 8, but for each one behind the scenes, it's creating 2 of them. Okay, it doesn't matter. Don't get confused by that. Just select 8 of them because we're gonna have 8 channels. And go over here where it says delete existing. Ignore this. Delete existing channels before creating new ones. Yeah, because we're gonna overwrite whatever is in here. And make this your default configuration. Yeah, click on that. And hit OK. Okay, nice. Okay, and now the most important step of all. And please make sure you've ticked the version, the option that said make this your default configuration. Because now what we're gonna do is close this, close Reaper, don't save, it doesn't matter, and start a new project again. Yes. Same way, go here, file new project, if you don't have the shortcut or you're not on Windows. And what the heck? Why are we doing this? Because in order for Reaper, for Kontakt, sorry, to actually get the changes in the configuration we did, we need to restart it. And after many trial and error thinkings I did, I found out that the best way is to restart the whole thing at once. And yeah, just trust me and do that. Okay, so now this is where it changes from the other video. On the other video, we do some other things over here which are faster, but what Reaper does automatically for us in the other video, we're gonna do here manually. Yes. So let's think, okay? And let's take this step by step. What we want to do, what we're gonna have. First of all, we're gonna have one track that's gonna host Reaper. It's gonna have the plugin. And it's not gonna have anything else. It's not gonna have MIDI, it's not gonna have any recordings, we're not gonna monitor it. No. It's only gonna have Kontakt. So we add a new track, double click over here. Actually, this is the same as we did before. And click on effects over here and click search for Kontakt and select the version that we said we're gonna work with, the 16 out, which is 8 stereo out. Click OK. But please make sure to select this one. Okay, so before we do anything, let's see here our outputs. As you can see, we have the 8 channels over here. However, as they are right now, they are not connected to their, let's say, mono tracks that they are consisted of. They just exist like a bus. Let's say we have 2 mono tracks over here, and this is the stereo track we created. We need to connect them. Perfect analogy, perfect. Anyway, in order to do that, we have to click over here. Okay? And this is why we actually have 2 options over here, because the stereo track one is consisted of 2 no, it's not the right terminology, let's say the subtracks, the mono ones. Okay, so, and actually Kontakt helps us a lot because it automatically labels them. So if we click over here where it says not connected on 0, 1, let's remember that we're on stereo 1. We're gonna go to KT stereo 1 because we're on stereo 1 and select 1 because we are on 1. And go to KT stereo 2. Go to KT stereo 1 and select 2 for the other option. So make sure this is stereo 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2. Okay, that's all we need to do. And click OK. It's gonna say a warning, OK. As you can see, we have the stereo 1 assigned to 1 and 2. Nice. So we're gonna do the same for all of them up to 8. The auxiliary, we don't care about them. So let's click over here, and it's really easy, just do the same thing. We are on stereo 2, 1, so stereo 2, 1, stereo 2, 2, stereo 2, 2. And a faster way to do this, instead of clicking OK and opening the third one, is just clicking the little arrow over here, and it's gonna move to the third one, or back to the second one. So for the third one, we're gonna select 3, 1 for 3, 1, and okay, you get it, you know, dub 4, 1 for 2. But be really careful, because if these are wrong, our outputs are gonna be messed up, trust me. But we're gonna check again in the end to make sure everything is connected all right. 8, 1, 8, 1, okay. So what we wanna see is the stereo number over here and the channel over here. So 8, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Nice, and click OK. Whoa! As you can see over here, we can actually see the tracks. Here is the 16. Ha! I told you guys. That's why we can only have up to 8, because since it provides us up to 16 mono tracks, if we add it, we can actually add another channel. We can add one more, okay? However, it's not gonna provide us with let's say 17 or 17, 18 instead of to increment from that. It's not gonna do that, okay? So, okay, we're done with the Kontakt configuration. Now, what we want to do is we want to create this and connect this tracks, these outputs over here to Reaper. So each stereo output from Kontakt is gonna send the sound to a different audio track, right? So we need to create 8 audio tracks. My voice got higher. So right click over here, insert multiple tracks, and type 8. Click OK. And let's name them. In order to name them, just double click OK, and of course let's name the host and name it Kontakt 5 host. And let's name this stereo 1. And if you hit tab, it moves on to and renames the second, actually not the second, the next track beneath the one you are on right now. So stereo 2, if I hit tab, it goes to the next 3, stereo 4. Be really careful, stereo 5, stereo 6, stereo 7, stereo 8. Nice. Make sure you have 1 through 8, not less, not more. Okay. I don't care how you're gonna name it. However, please, for your sanity, just have like something over here that says which stereo track it is. You might wanna make it like stereo 1 piano. That's all right, but you're still gonna know which stereo track that is. So yeah, do whatever you want with that, but please, for your own sanity, make sure to keep the track number over here, the output number, sorry. Okay. Now we haven't do any routing, no routing at all. But so okay, so let's think now. What we want to do? What do outputs do? They send sound. So we wanna send the sound from Kontakt to the tracks. Send the sound from Kontakt to the tracks, because these are outputs. Meaning, okay, let's see. Let's add a library. I'm gonna add a quick instrument because it's faster to load. But this works for all the instruments or libraries. Okay, so as you can see, this instrument over here has an output. What does this mean? This means that it sends its sound to stereo 1, the one we created over here. And I'm gonna go in depth in a bit. Just hold on for a second. But we're still in Kontakt. We're gonna have to send the sound from stereo 1 over here to this track over here. They're not connected right now. They're like, oops, they're like that when we want to connect them. But hold on to what I'm saying. We want to send the sound from Kontakt to the track. So we go on the routing options, which is this button over here for Kontakt 5 host, because the hosting track, this one is the one that contains the plugin. Yeah. So click over here. And as I said before, we wanna send the sound from here, from the host to the track. So add a new send and select. Don't be confused by the number because that's the ordering Reaper keeps of the tracks. Just use the name stereo 1. Okay? Okay. Alright, okay. So one thing to do is, first of all, we're gonna have to go over here to track channels. And this is how many, not exactly, but let's say how many mono tracks we're gonna have. Let's say like that. So make it to 16 because we have 16 mono tracks. Okay. And disable master send for now. I'm gonna explain later why we do this, but in general, what it does is that it doesn't allow any sound to be sent from this track over here, the host, to the master track. So this thing over here is not gonna play any sound. And that's what we want to do because the sound is gonna come from the stereo outputs, not from the host. The host is just the house, let's say, the host for the plugin, nothing else. And it sends the sounds and it's gonna receive the MIDI in a bit. Okay, so wait, open it again. Okay, so what we wanna do is we wanna make sure that the correct, all we care about is this one over here, the audio 1, 2. This needs to be assigned the same thing actually to this, let's say this over here. So for stereo 1, we're gonna have this to be 1, 2, okay? So what's that gonna do? Let's see. Stereo 1 is 1, 2. We've already said that added a new send to the stereo 1, which means we send the sound from the host to this track. And this is done by sending the 1, 2 output, 1, 2 over here, to this track. Okay, this 1, 2 might be confusing, but ignore it. Just hold on to what I'm saying. Okay, so we can try it out. We can play something on this instrument over here by using the keyboard. And what we're gonna see, hopefully, is the first track over here light up. And as you can see, light up. This doesn't matter. This just shows that we have some input. Okay, so we have the sound coming out from stereo 1. Wait, we're done. That's what we wanted to do, right? At least for the output, not for the MIDI. We're done for the MIDI, for the output part. Yeah. We managed to connect the output from Kontakt to a track in Reaper. Nice. Now all we have to do is do the exact same for the other tracks. There are not that many, so let's do that. However, be careful. We're gonna make sure that each time the correct tracks are sent to the correct track. This sounds confusing, but let's see that in action. Okay, so we made the first send. Let's add another send. The second one, stereo 2. Now, what do we want to send to stereo 2? As you can see, the stereo 2 is consisted of 3 and 4, not 1 and 2. The first one is consisted of 1 and 2, and the second one sends the sound from 3 and 4. So this one is not gonna be 1 and 2. It's gonna be click to the arrow over here. Select stereo source because we're working with stereo, and click 3, 4, not 2, 3, 3, 4, the same as here. Okay? And to actually see that in action, just switch the output from stereo 1 to stereo 2. And actually you can see that even in here, because it says stereo 2 to channels routed 3, 4. Ooh. And you can see it everywhere, even in there or in here. So what does mean, since now we change the output to stereo 2, stereo 2 is over here. Stereo 2 send the sound with 3/4, and this is the same. So this track sends the sound of 3/4. Where does it send the sound of 3/4? It sends it to stereo to track 3. This is the third track, 1, 2, 3. But this is the stereo 2 named one. Okay, so if we play a note, it lights up. So if we add another plugin, let's say add this one over here, and okay, make this one go to the first and make this one go to the second. Okay, so if we select the first instrument and play a note, the first output lights up. Why? Because it's assigned to the first output. If we select the second instrument and hit a note, okay, it goes to the first one because I forgot to change it. There we go. So if we hit again, that was loud, sorry. It goes to the second one. Nice. So we're gonna do the same thing. Hopefully you understood. If you didn't understand, go back, rewind the video, and listen to and check out what I did again. And again. And again. And if you still don't get it, leave a comment and ask me what it is that you don't get, and I will try to explain it. Although I don't think I can go even deeper than what I said. So, yeah. Okay, let's move on. 3. Which one is a stereo 3? I think you're getting it by now. 5, 6. So this one is gonna be 5, 6. 4. 4 is 7, 8. You can see it at the right. Be very careful. Very careful. 5 is 8, 9. 9, 10. See? I made a mistake. I'm not careful. And 6 is gonna be 11, 12. I'm actually dumb. I'm not looking to the right. I'm trying to think of it. So whatever. 7 is gonna be 13, 14. Actually, wait a second. Can you see that? Okay, you could see the first ones. Thank God. Okay, there we go. Where is our window? There we go. So, where were we? 9, 10. Okay. Oh, the last one. Oh, wait. Are we done? Maybe we skipped one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2. Am I blind? 3, 4. 3, 5, 6. 4, 7, 8. 5, 9, 10. 6. What the heck? 1, 1, 2. 3, 4. Second one. Third. 1, 5, 6. Fourth one. 7, 8. Fifth one. 9, 10. Sixth one. 11, 12. 7, 1. Oh, yeah, I didn't add the last one. Okay. I'm not even gonna edit that out, just to see how dumb I am. So the last one is 15, 16. Nice. So now we have everything connected as in for the outputs. So to sum up, what we did now is we connected all the outputs from Kontakt to these tracks over here. So these tracks over here, these output channels over here, are assigned to each of this track over here. So 1 goes to 1, 2 goes to 2, 3 goes to 3, etc. Nice. So we're halfway there. Now, what we want to do is we want to create the MIDI, the sounds, the notes. I mean, we're not going to play with this keyboard. We want to write our music, right? We can't do that on these tracks because these are audio tracks, not MIDI tracks, okay? They can only contain audio, and the only audio, the only audio they're going to contain is the one sent from them by Reaper. By Kontakt, I meant by Reaper. By Kontakt. The one sent from to them by Kontakt. The only one. So we're going to have to add some more tracks. and these are gonna be MIDI tracks, which doesn't really change anything in Reaper because everything is named tracks. So right click over here, insert multiple tracks. Okay, and how many tracks? You can actually add up to 16 over here. Okay, so what does that mean? You can have up to 16 like different compositions. Okay, different MIDI compositions, 16 of them. There are too many. Okay, I'm gonna add 8. If you want to add 16, if you want to add 10, 12, you can actually add 8 and add 2 more later on. That's up to you. But I'm gonna add 8 and show you how I do it. And from then on, you can judge for yourself and do whatever you want. It's your project after all. Okay, so I'm gonna add 8. You can actually have less than that. You can have 4. But it's not really useful because if you are gonna have 8 outputs and 4 MIDIs, that means in general that 4 MIDIs are 4 outputs are gonna be unused. Okay. Anyway, so it created these tracks over here, and don't worry, this might seem like a mess, but we're gonna organize it in a little bit. Just hold on. And actually, let's move the stereo track over to the bottom just to have them together, grouped. Okay, and we're gonna name them. So this is gonna be one MIDI. Or, okay, I'm gonna name it stereo 1 MIDI. Okay, and I'm doing this for a reason. Okay, just copy that, hit tab, and this one is gonna be, come on keyboard. This one is gonna be, come on keyboard. Keyboard doesn't wanna, oh, I didn't copy that. Okay, never mind. This is gonna be stereo 2 MIDI, and this is gonna be stereo 3 MIDI. Actually, I think I can write it faster. Stereo 4 MIDI, stereo 5 MIDI, stereo 6 MIDI, 7 MIDI, 8 MIDI. 8 of them. I added 8 tracks, okay? And why did I name them stereo 1 MIDI? Okay. Okay, let's say it from now. I make an assumption. I say that this MIDI, whenever it goes into a library, and we are gonna see in a bit what that means, the library in which it goes, for example, this one, is gonna have the output set to stereo 1, okay? So that I know that whenever a sequence is written on this MIDI over here, so if I write something over here, insert new MIDI item, whatever, when this plays, the sound is gonna go to audio 1. And how am I gonna know that? By checking over here. That's the little trick I do. You don't have to do it. You don't have to. It works without this. That's just a naming convention for me to remember how to do things, okay? But it's really easy, trust me. You can try it out. If you don't like it, don't do it again. Anyway, okay, so what we did right now is we created 8 tracks, and we just named them MIDI, nothing else. So, okay, let's think now. This is the last time we were gonna have to think. MIDIs are actually notes. So, what we actually do, we send the notes to the host, right? Because the library receives the notes, C3, D4, whatever, and translates them into sound and sends the sound from with the outputs to, in this occasion, these tracks over here, okay? So this means that the host receives the MIDI. Does that make sense? It receives the MIDI, it receives the notes, it doesn't send the notes. What? No, it receives this, it receives the notes. For example, these ones over here, translates them using the library or whatever, and send the sounds using the outputs, which we did before, okay? And how are we gonna encode that? How are we gonna route that? It's really easy, because as I said it, that's the way we're gonna route it. We're gonna go to the root option over here, And what did I say? Kontakt 5, or the host rather, receives the MIDI. So we go to the receive and we add a new receive, and be really careful on the tracks you're gonna select. We're here on the stereo 1 MIDI. Okay, so this is gonna be responsible for MIDI number 1. What the heck am I talking about? Okay, if we go to Kontakt, okay, I'm a bit far away. If we go into Kontakt and see this over here which says MIDI channel, MIDI ECH, okay, and click on the arrow and go to port A, you can see some numbers, 1 through 16. And that's the numbers we wanna keep in mind when configuring, when routing actually the MIDI. Okay, so what do I mean? Again, go over here to root, okay? And we added a new receive. We receive a sound from where? From stereo 1 MIDI over here, from this track. Don't close, please. And when is the sound gonna play? This is not from MIDI, from 1. Okay, oops, wait. Not this one, this one. So what does it mean? That this track is gonna send the sound to number 1. Okay, again, this track, the stereo 1 MIDI, this one is gonna send the MIDI, the input as we said before, to 1. And what do we mean by 1? This is the 1. Okay, so if I add a second receive from the second MIDI track over here, okay, where is it gonna send the MIDI, the input? To 2, all right? Oops, to 2, right? So this is gonna send the input to, okay, this one is already on 2, to 2, right? Hopefully you get it. And actually, if you wanna see that in action, I can demonstrate that by, okay, I'm gonna set up the input. I'm using a MIDI keyboard, as you can see over here. This doesn't matter. I'm just gonna demonstrate it, so I'm gonna connect it over here. You don't have to do this, okay? So click on record arm. I'm gonna hit the monitoring. Okay, so what's gonna happen? I'm now listening to the input from this track over here, mid 1, which sends the input where? First of all, it sends it to the Kontakt 5 host, meaning that the Kontakt 5 host receives from stereo 1 MIDI, okay? And where does it send it to? Which number? Let's say to 1, okay? Okay, so which libraries use MIDI channel 1? This one. We may have only one. We may have more of them. That's gonna be confusing because you're gonna have the same sequence playing on 2 different instruments. You might want that, whatever. So if I play a note, you're gonna see that the first instrument only lights up, and as you can see, where does the sound go? Stereo 1, obviously, as you can see, it lights up, but we did that before, okay? And the same thing for the second one. If I, let me do that, okay? If I record down the second one and monitor it, okay, where does my input from the second MIDI track go? First of all, it goes to Kontakt 5 because it receives it, okay? It receives it. And where does it go? To which number? To number 2, okay? So, which library over here receives the input from number 2? This one. Not this one. This receives the input from number 1, okay? So if I play something, this library is gonna translate it or play it or whatever you wanna call it. And where does the sound go? To output stereo 2, okay? Where is it? Here. Okay, so now this is actually pretty much what MIDI this is pretty much all for MIDI configuration, okay? So we're going to do the same thing for all the other ones. And if you are gonna add more tracks than 8, because I've added 8 MIDI tracks, as I said before, you can have up to 16. And that just didn't came to my mind, like, oh, 16 is the limit. If you go over here, where is it? Over here, and see part A, you can have up to 16. This is a bit more advanced and you don't care about it right now. Maybe you can have more, maybe. um, okay, but you can have up to 16 by doing this configuration at least. So we're gonna add the rest of them up to 8 and route them. We create them, so we're just gonna route them. So it receives the MIDI information from 1, and sends it to 1. It receives the MIDI information for 2 and sends it to 2. I'm gonna add all of them from 3, from 4, don't get confused by the first number, check the second one. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And each one is gonna send the sound to the to the 2 to the 2, 3 to the 3, 4 to the 4th one, 5, be careful about it, otherwise it's gonna be a mess. 5 to 5, 6 to 6, yeah, 7 to 7, and 8 to 8. And actually we're done, guys. That's all it is. Because if you think about it now, we have MIDI over here. So if I play it, okay, it plays it. I can even copy that to stereo 2. Okay, so we have different MIDI channels going into different instruments, and we have them assigned to individual outputs. Okay, and actually, okay, so let's do a test over here. What would happen if I change the MIDI channel of the second instrument over here to 1? What does that mean? That means that it's gonna receive MIDI information from whichever track is routed to the host, from whichever track the host receives from, right? And it's set to 1. And which one is it? Which one of the receives is set to 1? The first one, okay? We can see over here. So what this means is that both of these instruments are gonna play this sequence, right? So this is how you do that. Okay, and okay, a plane is passing by. Okay, so a little trick to group some things is that since we assumed in the beginning that whenever a track, now we can actually say it and explain it. Whenever an instrument receives sound from MIDI 1, its output should be stereo 1. And you're not forced to do that. That's my convention, okay? And whenever, so this is wrong by my means. Since this, it's not actually totally wrong, because you might want to have the same sequence playing into two different instruments. You might have two like plugins or some basses or whatever. So it's not wrong. However, you should change the name of them. Okay? So you might want to have this, like, if you're going to actually do that, have like two different have one MIDI going into two different instruments, you might want to change the naming scheme, whatever. For now, what we're gonna do is drag the first one over here and put it under, not like this, like that. As you can see, the blue arrow is a bit aligned to the right, under stereo 1. So this actually creates a bus, but since MIDI doesn't send any sound, any audio, okay, this is more like a folder track. So this is more like a folder. Okay, so you can do the same for the other ones as well. Okay, there we go. I wasn't muted. So you can now collapse all of them. And actually, to see how beautiful it seems if you collapse everything, I have a shortcut over here that collapse everything. So now this is beautiful. And we can actually make it even more beautiful by creating a new track over here, naming it Kontakt 5. And this is going to be our folder. So we want to add all the instruments, or rather all the tracks into it. So we click on the first one, this. Well, if you don't expand, just make sure you can actually see the last one. The last one before the new one we created, okay? So click on the first one, hold shift, and click on the last one. And this is gonna select all of them. Otherwise, you can hold control and click on each one of them individually, okay? And you wanna drag them just so that the blue arrow is a little bit aligned to the right under Kontakt 5. So this made Kontakt 5 a folder, and this is beautiful. And one more step, we're gonna make this a preset. So how to make this a preset? Okay, select the first track, which is the folder we created, and select the last one, which is stereo 8 MIDI, okay? And hold shift again. Or use control to select each one individually, but you don't have to do that. Okay, once you did that, you have everything selected over here. Right click, click on save track as track template, and name it Kontakt 8 outs tutorial slow, because I have the other from the other tutorial. Don't tick any of these, you don't need them, and click save. Okay, what did we do now? Let's see. Go to file, but please make sure you did everything I did before and you did it correct, because if you didn't save the preset like I did now, it's not gonna be there. You're gonna lose all your work. So okay, click on new project. No. And let's say now I'm working on a new project and I have this crazy idea for the piano and I want to add the library, but oh my god, I have to do everything again. No, you don't, because you're gonna have to right click, insert track from template, Kontakt 8 outs tutorial slow. Bam! And you have everything. That really hurts for some reason. And you have everything over here and you're ready to go. And that's the beauty of Reaper. And I'm not sponsored by them, but I just like it. Anyway, guys, this is it. Hopefully you understood everything. I went to the depths of the details I could go, the deepest I could go, actually. And if you didn't get everything I said, you can go back and watch some stuff again and again. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. But please, if you want to make all this, if you want to make this all, if you want to do this all faster, I can speak today. Check the other video I've uploaded, which is the faster way to do it, which is the more like Reaper way to do it, and it saves you from all this configuration, all the routing, etc. Make sure to like if you like the video, dislike it if you didn't, and hit subscribe if you wanna know whenever I upload anything else, Reaper or whatever related. Have fun, guys. Bye.